be Ready Frank. It's now Ready Friesen. I was an Air Force kid, so we traveled around. I was born in Nova Scotia, in Middleton, Nova Scotia, and but then we went, I think, to Gimli, Manitoba, then France, then Comox, BC, and that's where I fell in love with the mountains and BC as a whole, as a kid in elementary school. Then we moved to Nova Scotia to be closer to my dad's relatives. Well, I didn't really grow up in Middleton. I lived in Middleton from the age of 13 to 19 when I left home. Well, I was an Air Force kid, so I was used to the Armed Forces base. So I went from that. We lived near Greenwood for a few months, and my dad bought a farmhouse in Mi'kmaq West. He farmed, but was also still in the Armed Forces. So I wasn't really a civilian kid, yet I wasn't with the Air Force kids. Okay, back in 1968-69, well, if you were pregnant and you were not married, it wasn't acceptable. The times are so different back then that when it snowed, you wore pants under your skirt, and your skirt was down to your knees. And I was very, very green about everything in life. I lived in the country. I was told nothing. I really didn't know, but I knew you were like, you know, if you were pregnant, to me you were classified as a whore. And this ironic thing about it is a lot of women that were pregnant had sex only once or twice. You didn't have to have sex often. And they were probably as naive about it as I was. The only thing I knew about adoption is when I went into the unwed mother's home, I knew that I needed to go away and have this baby. And most of the girls in the home were giving their children up. So they would have a better home, because a lot of the homes they came from were not suitable. And for myself, that's when I learned about adoption, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to give my child up. But then in the end, I knew I wanted him to have something better than I had. I'm trying to contact Scott, my birth son, he was born in 1969. I believe that makes him 37 years old. The first step, I've always been registered with Halifax from day one. From the day I gave him up, I said, I want my name, the fact that if he ever wants to contact me, they've always had my phone number and address from the day he was born. Halifax is the Children's Society that I had to go through to adopt him. And then I contacted Halifax. I always phoned, the odd time I'd phone Halifax and ask if he made contact, and no, he hadn't. And finally I found out they were doing a search, and they did the search, and then they contacted the family, and the father called Halifax and talked to the social worker. And I asked the social worker, can you give him my number? And she says, no, it's against the law. And when I think back, I think, is this the dark ages? I'm an adult, he's an adult, I'm not, he can destroy the phone number, he doesn't have to call me. But I have been doing my own search. After that, I've been on the computer, I've been looking up businesses, I've read a lot of books, and it's for the person who's adopted to find or to meet their mother or father. They get to know their genes, and they also come full circle in their life too. I never realized I'd be the smaller percentage of people where there'd be no contact, and that's what I read in the books. And actually, as the books I read, I think I forgot a lot of the things they said, but now it's not so simple. We're dealing with the human psychic, and there's a process. And it was a lot of me calling too and putting pressure on the social worker to try and work a little faster. And now I've had to do a lot of my own search. And I've also found that even if I had had the money to hire a detective, it wouldn't be a good idea. Because you can knock on someone's door, but if they don't want to open that door, they don't want to open the door. That's how it is. And the other person has to be ready too. I don't know a lot about what is happening with adoption today, but I know a lot of women are not giving up their children in Canada. I don't know what's happening in the States. I feel that we have to come out of the dark ages, that the system should be much more open, and that we should have more access to information. Like when I asked to give my phone number to the father, who was more than willing to phone Halifax and talk to the social worker, I really don't think that should have been a problem. We need to talk. I think all families, we need to talk. Talk about being adopted, or or giving up a child for adoption. Talk is healing, and you know, why should it be a big secret anymore? What I'm hearing is that it's still hush-hush out there. And why is it so hush-hush? If you have a son or daughter's adopted, let them talk. Tell them about whatever. I don't know what the system, I really don't know what the system's like anymore. But I know back then, and even further back, it was even worse. But I really feel that the system should be really helping either adoptees or birth parents to have information. Because, you know, we only go around this world once. My message to Scott is I never meant to reject you. I loved you so much. I wanted something much better for you. I just could not bring you into my home. My mother even said to me a week after I got home, "Go get him," and I says no. It was horrible what I said to my mother, but I thought, no, I cannot bring you into this home. And I'm not negating my family. I'm just saying I wanted something much better for you. I wanted you to have a chance in life. So I didn't mean to reject you. Now I have a goal, and my goal is to find Scott. That is my goal. And I will never give up. Thanks for listening.